It is April 1st. I am slightly under the weather, but April 1st means that I am starting draft 7 of Project DE today. My birthday was last week, and I had a friend come into town, and we drove from Salt Lake down to Sedona, which was like a 9-hour drive. And I got to spend a couple days in Sedona, hiking around, going out to eat, just enjoying like a new city. And I took that time away from work and writing, and it felt really, really good. And now that I'm back, my friend left last night. It's like perfectly lining up with the start of a new month. I'm feeling really like creatively invigorated. I'm like so excited about the idea of finishing DE, or at least like book 1 of DE, because in theory there are 2 more books, but we're not there yet. And I just feel like really good about starting draft 7 today. I really wanted to start it yesterday, but I told myself I wanted to start on the 1st of the month. So that brings us to today. So I ended up just like compiling all of my notes and everything earlier today, so that now as I'm headed to writing group, I can officially start working on draft 7. All right, I'm back from my writing group. It went really, really well, and actually tonight was kind of fun because somebody walked in looking for a different writing group and then ended up joining us because she was actually supposed to be at like a completely different coffee shop joining a writing group. And so she just kind of like hung out with us and wrote for the evening, which was kind of cool. But I started working on comments, and then I realized that I didn't really want to be working on comments. What felt like the most pressing was naming characters, because we know that I struggled with that deeply, and I was actually able to name several. I renamed one character, and then I named 4 other characters, and some of that was with the help of my writing group. I just kind of like told them what I was working on and that I really struggle with naming characters, and then they just kind of like asked me like for the vibe of like each person, just like a couple sentences or whatever, and then they would just like say names back or like, you know, look up names for me. And it was so helpful for me to just like breeze through that process, because I've taken like months to name characters before, and these are not like crazy important character names, and so it was more something that like just needed to get done rather than being like super crucial to the story, which is nice because then like in reality I don't have to think about them that hard. And so now I'm left with 1 to 2 more names. I think I definitely need one of the names. The other one would be nice to have figured out because they're more important in the later books. So I guess that means that I have 2 more characters that I want to name this evening, and then that's going to be it for working on draft 7 for the 1st of the month. But also when I was at my writing group, I did rename my document to DEG7, which is, you know, DE draft 7, and then I just clicked accept all changes that were made in draft 6, and then that cleared out all of like the insertions and the deletions and everything. It left the comments, it left the highlighted portions, and those are things that I'm going to be looking at, but it cleaned up the document a lot, and I was really excited about it. So I went through and I was able to find some names that I liked for these characters, and then I went over to my draft 7, that feels so cool to say, my draft 7 document, and I searched for what I needed to search for to switch out to basically add in her name. And I'm not actually sure her name is relevant in the first book. So I think I'm done naming people. That feels crazy.
Well, happy Tuesday. Today is April 2nd, and because I tackled names yesterday, I think the next big thing for me to work on is comments. And then if I get through comments, I'm going to start searching for parentheses and like blank spaces. I'm totally blanking on what they're called, but like whenever I would like leave myself something to fill in, it would either be in parentheses or like 3 like slashes, but like on the bottom of the line. Whatever. Anyways, that's kind of my game plan for today. And I'm saying that now because I'm heading with one of the girls in my writing group to an arboretum type place to go get some writing done. And for me, that means working on draft 7. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be super cute. So I'll make sure I get some footage while I'm there. Alrighty, well, now it's Wednesday. I did not talk to you guys again last night, but I ended up working on comments and, trying to keep some capitalization consistent throughout my document yesterday at the Arboretum for like an hour. Really cool location. I definitely want to go back to work there again. It was very fun and just like so quiet, so peaceful, like so serene. I really enjoyed that. And then I had dinner plans and I came back home and I did some more work. So now it's Wednesday. I've already had therapy. I've already worked out. It's a nice day outside. It's like 65 degrees right now. It's like perfectly blue skies. So I feel like I need to be outside, but I do have some Fiverr orders I need to be finishing today. So I might not get around to editing my book until later today, but I do want to go sit outside at least for a little while and work on my computer, probably working on some of those Fiverr orders, but just outside so that I can get a little bit of sun while it's still out. Sitting outside was great. And now I'm turning off lights because the apartment across from me is empty and the lights kept me up last night. It's 8:30. I just finished up a Fiverr order that I was working on, which feels really nice to be done. And considering that it's 8:30 and it actually wasn't due tonight, it's due tomorrow, I actually feel really good about that. I do have one more Fiverr order that's like shorter that's due tomorrow that I want to get started on. And then I have like a really short one that somebody asked me if I could just do today, which I don't normally do, but they're wanting to get it submitted like immediately. So I think I'm gonna try and get that done tonight as well. But I'm realizing that it's Wednesday and I normally water my plants on Sunday nights. And so I think I need to water my plants to make sure that everybody stays happy and healthy, which could also be a friendly reminder to drink your water. I'm sitting down with a slice of leftover birthday cake and some strawberries. I'm just gonna enjoy this as like a lingering birthday thing while I'm working on finishing the shorter of the Fiverr orders. And then hopefully we can move on to some draft 7 work. It's now 11:20. I just returned that really short Fiverr order that I just finished up. And because I've been staring at my computer screen for a little bit, I am gonna get up, do a little productive break, probably unload my dishwasher, fun things like that, and listen to a masterclass that I'm currently watching. And then hopefully that means we get to come back and start working on draft 7 again for today. I'm gonna do this candle. I am gonna try and do everything that I can to get myself really in the writing mood, because technically I'm not writing, and therefore it's hard for me to actually get into the story because I'm not smoking a lot. Okay, calm down. Probably should have trimmed the wick, but kind of genuinely worried that my smoke detector's about to go off. But what was I saying? Oh, because I'm not actively writing or editing, it's not like I can really get sucked into a scene, because literally the next 3 things on my checklist are searching for towards versus toward, forward versus forwards, and onto versus on to. So I lit a candle. I'm probably going to turn on the Hogwarts Library ambient mixer, and I'm just going to try and do every little trick I have to really get myself focused on this. It is 11:30 p.m. I'm hoping to work on this for at least an hour tonight and then go to bed. So I went in and I made those changes, as well as 2 other checklist items that were just for consistency's sake. And then whoever it was that told me that you can hit Command A to highlight the entire document has probably saved me hours of my time by now. I don't know why. That's not something I knew until probably a couple months ago. Oh, just found a double period. Nice. I should add that to my list of things I'm looking for. But being able to highlight the whole document so quickly, so easily is amazing. Who knew that something like that could even exist? Fully being sarcastic, but I was noticing as I was going through that there were some font changes and stuff. So I just highlighted the whole document so easily and just switched that over to Times New Roman, because it was probably in Calibri or something before that, just because it's a little easier on the eyes. Feels a little bit less formal, but as I am moving towards trying to get this book published, starting to switch over towards more of that professional style is probably a good idea. And now I'm going to go back through and start looking at the comments that I had left for myself again in draft 6. I started working on this yesterday, and then I noticed that I was still skipping over a couple because I'm oh, I'll just answer that later. But realistically, this is draft 7. In theory, there is no later. Sure, technically, yeah. But again, I'm trying to get all of my notes out of this document. So that means getting rid of all of the freaking comments that I've left to myself on the side. I do have things
in parentheses that I will get to later. But for right now, I'm working on things that are specifically in the comments attached to the document. And it is 12:07 in the morning now. Oh man, even the first comment that pops up when I searched for them, my gut response was, oh, I'll just look at this later. Like, I can't. I need to answer this now-ish, you know? Although it is going to involve probably a page of rewriting. It's not that bad. Just to reintegrate information in a better way, which I don't want to do right now. I do have other comments in the document. I know I shouldn't skip past this one, but for right now, I'm going to.
Well, now it's 12:57 a.m. This is really not a terribly interesting part of the process. I was going back through and naming the mountain ranges. I was doing just consistency checks on how long it's been since two of the characters have seen each other, some capitalization consistency stuff, your majesty versus your highness consistency stuff. But I am slowly but surely whittling down my list of things that I'm trying to run through before I can just go through and read draft 7. I do still have more comments to get through. I kind of flaked on that. Whoops. And then I want to look at the yellow highlighted portions and phrasing. I want to look at the ending again, the last couple chapters, just because I think that the order of those will probably need to change. As I'm listing these things, these are not small changes, and I have been focusing on the small changes so that I can focus on the easier stuff. I still have the underscore, it's not underscore, but the underlined things. That's also not what they're said, but this thing, and slashes and parentheses, and just more things like that. So I'm just gonna keep slowly working through this, but for tonight, I'm gonna call it and go to bed.
Well, good morning. Happy Thursday. If you are not currently in a writing group, I highly recommend that you try to find one or join one or start one, because some of the comments that I was finding myself stuck on yesterday, I texted two of the girls in my writing group about this morning, and it's literally naming things, which I am not good at, but one of the girls in my writing group apparently loves naming things. And so I just sent her very short descriptions for a person and then a kingdom that's mentioned once, and she responded with answers that I liked in 5 minutes. It was so incredibly helpful, so I don't need to mull over what this place and person are called. I can literally just go in, plug those names in, and then delete those comments. And so that was so incredibly helpful. I've just been working away, currently having breakfast. I do have a meeting here in about an hour, and I have a couple of things that I want to get done today, but I am excited to get back to working on cleaning up draft 7. I just logged off of my entrepreneurship group, and while I was on there, I did go ahead and write down a little breakdown of how I want to spend April working on draft 7, and now that it's written down, it feels very attainable, but I do have for this week cleaning up the rest of the document. So there is still plenty to do in that respect. So I think I'm gonna make lunch technically, even though it's 3:50, because I don't eat breakfast until 11 or 12 anyways. So I'm gonna make lunch, and then I need to start working on a 5 order. Probably should go outside. It's partly cloudy. It looks really warm. So maybe I do something like I did yesterday, where I just go to an outdoor space and work on my computer for a little bit, which is probably going to be the move. And then hopefully later this evening, I get back to working on draft 7. It's not really a hopefully, it kind of have to, and I'm really liking feeling like I need to, because that feeling where I need to hold myself accountable to this deadline, and I do think I can meet this deadline, at least right now, and I really hope that stays that way. So yeah, I guess it's time for lunch.
Well, just kidding. It's now 1:34 in the morning. I did not get around to working on draft 7. I just finished up a 5 order, and it's very much time for me to go to bed.
Lose your family.
It's now 10:30 p.m. I went and saw a movie by myself tonight. It has been a while since I've taken myself out in public to do something alone, and went to go see Arthur the King. Very much enjoyed it, and I definitely cried, but it was a very fun experience. I'm having a slice of cake. I did about an hour of work on my book earlier today, and I'm hoping to get back to it here shortly. So today was April 5th. I'm still trucking along with going through comments in draft 7. I almost said draft 6. And to be quite frank, I'm doing well. Again, it's just a slow process, but I do want to finish cleaning up what I can clean up in this document within like the next 2 days before then I move on to rereading the ending, making sure that that is built up how I want that to be built up, and then trying to move on to rereading the book, as much of reading it as a reader as I possibly can. It's also only 12:13 a.m., but I kind of want to go to bed, and I feel like I should lean into that feeling. And now it's Sunday, April 7th, but I'm actually going to be closing out the video here just so that I can start working on my next vlog, because I kind of want to start rereading the ending today, and I know that that's jumping around with what I had originally stated I was going to do, but I also want to lean into what's feeling good, and that means that I want to start a brand new vlog with trying to reread the ending, trying to make sure that the ending has had my eyes on it as much as the rest of the book has. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'm Sara Lubratt, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.